Hey guys, it's Falene from Six Blue Warriors again. So I get asked this question a lot, and people have heard about autism. They know that it's a rising thing in the population. More and more people have autism or are getting diagnosed with it. But a lot of times people don't understand what it really is. So when someone asks me, what is autism? This is kind of how I explain it. So there are three components of autism that you really have to take into consideration that the person has deficits in. One is social and emotional issues, and one is communication, and the third is sensory issues. So in order to get a diagnosis of autism, you have to have at least two boxes that they have on the list of criteria checked off in each category. So for social emotional, if they, just those basic social skills that people get from observing other people. Communication. A lot of times communication is delayed, speaking is delayed, or just the ability to express oneself is very difficult. Aiden was nonverbal when he started. Gavin had a significant speech delay, but he did start talking on his own. And then sensory input. A lot of times these kids are dealing with either sensory overload or sensory underload, if that makes sense, where certain things their sense of smell will be highly developed, and they will be able to smell everything. And so when they walk into a restaurant, for example, just the various things that they can smell maybe just be overwhelming to them. Or noise is another one that's really very common. That's a better way to say it. Just they can hear so many things so well that they hear it. Sometimes it's like they hear everything. And so it just gets overwhelming, all the different noise. So that is kind of what the sensory things are. Or they're sensory seeking, meaning they tend to take falls and not cry very much. They jump off of things that you go, holy cow, and then they're fine. They need more input in order to register a feeling. So when you go to give them a squeeze, they need it to be really hard in order for them to feel like they're actually getting hugged. So that's kind of with that sensory stuff. So over or underdeveloped sensory issues. So those are the three basic parts of the getting a diagnosis with autism that affect a person who has it. So it's a spectrum disorder, and so it affects everybody differently. So somebody may have a lot of sensory issues, but they may be more adept in communication. Somebody else may be nonverbal, but they don't have as many problems with sensory input, or, just different things like that. It affects every person differently. And so that's why they call it a spectrum disorder. And that's why there's the saying, if you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. So that's basically how I approach explaining to people what autism is. Now, there's lots of other questions I'm sure that everybody gets from family members and friends, just kind of trying to understand what it actually is that our kids are dealing with. If you have any questions that you'd like to get some feedback on from other people or anything like that on answering people tactfully, because sometimes people aren't very nice about the way they ask things, but most people, I try to keep in mind that most people are trying to be nice and they genuinely want to learn, and nothing is to be gained by taking offense too quickly when people ask questions, because they're usually probably nervous to ask them in the first place anyway. If you have any questions, just leave them down in the comment section. And if you find these videos helpful, feel free to leave a like or to subscribe. Any of these things helps to make these videos easier for other people to find. So I hope you guys are having a good night, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.